Vintage radios restores. I know I haven't done one for a while. It just got really busy in other projects and life things, you know how it goes. Anyway, I bought this one a month or so ago at one of these antique flea market places, and it's a Viking, which was the Eden's catalog store, made by Electrohome, and I'm talking about an AM tube radio, table radio, series string heater. There were hundreds of thousands made, different brands and types, made in Canada, the US. And these used to be very common in southwestern Ontario because it's where the Electrohome plant was. But you know, kind of a question I have as I work on this one, and tell you a little bit, I'm down to the last wax capacitor to change. There was originally a filter can under here with leads. They left the can in and put another can beside it. It kind of worked. The dial string was gone. What's kind of interesting about this one, it was all original tubes, Rogers tubes from Toronto. All wax caps except for the few that need replacing, so you can see where I put these in. Built a little terminal strip for the filter capacitors, and it's been going slowly. I haven't had a lot of time on it, but I guess my question today is, are these even worth it anymore? I'm finding them very cheaply priced. The Addison Courthouse series, any of the ones that are Catlin, the Fadas, all those radios that still command a lot of respect from collectors, still have fairly decent prices, but these, like this one here, I picked up for $35. And it's actually a 6-tube. You know, the thing is with AM radio, there's only one AM radio station even worth listening to. That's AM 740, the oldies station. There are other oldies AM radio stations, but the reception is so bad in most areas. Across the road from us, we have hydro towers. In our house, we have combination of few fluorescents, the rest are LED bulbs. And just something as simple as switching on this lamp while I'm listening to a radio in this room, or even the rest of the upstairs, it picks up noise from the LEDs, switching noise. It's kind of, you need a very strong station, and you need to sometimes turn things off. The under-counter lights in our kitchen generate noise throughout the house. Then you get all the noise from Wi-Fi, different things, Bluetooth. I know it's not even on the same frequency, but these things pick up every pop and crackle. I notice one sound that comes when the stove burners are turned on because they're electronically controlled. They're not, you know, a rheostat like they used to be. They create a little kind of a bzzz sound like that. I love making these little noises. And then you get the sounds that you get from lights being turned on and off. They're not really much to listen to anymore, but I think they're worth having a few around, some of the nicer ones. This cabinet will clean up nicely. It doesn't have any cracks. I might repaint the grill mesh. It'll be a nice looking radio, but most of the ones I have, like for instance in the rec room, are just on display. There's not much to listen to. The thing is, the other thing is the cost of these parts. I happen to get these from a collector that was retiring that bought $500 worth of orange dips and different things. Got them at a wonderful deal, and I'm very thankful. If I had to pay full price for them, you know, you end up putting 40 or 50 bucks in a radio that you paid 40 or 50 bucks, and you might get 40 or 50 bucks for it. It's kind of just where it's at right now. I'm just going to flip it down here for you. Show you the front. So I have a new cord on it. I always put polarized cord. The speaker's in wonderful shape on this one. I'm going to have to do the dial string. It's actually a 3-gain tuner, so it has the extra RF stage. This should be a nice radio. Anyway, just something to ponder. I don't know if anybody wants to make a comment. But I think AM radios like this are even worth it. Some of the multi-band ones, I'm wondering if they're worth it. I've had every single model of Zenith Transoceanic over the years of collecting, and I used to love them, but there's hardly anything on shortwave. There's a few beacons, there's some stuff in, foreign language stuff that I don't understand. There's some religious programming, but it's not as interesting as it used to be when like when I was 10 years old, and my dad bought a vintage Finola multi-band radio, and in its state, so it was about 40 years old when he bought it, maybe 35, 40 years old. I thought this was the greatest thing in the world. This is a real shortwave set. And then I got into the Hallicrafters and the Heathkit stuff, and then in the ham radio stuff. And I was talking to somebody a few days ago about ham radio, and they don't think it's worth it anymore because there's so little activity. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.